Spiderman. Earlier this year, the Delhi police arrested Spiderman. This one was not called Peter Parker and didn't live in New York City. Instead, Aditya was a resident of the National Capital Territory who dressed up in a Spider-Man jumpsuit and rode on the bonnet of a car near the Delhi airport. The police slapped several charges: dangerously driving a vehicle, riding without a seat belt, and so on, under the Motor Vehicles Act on Spider-Man and his assistant who was driving the car. These charges carry significant monetary fines as well as jail terms. Perhaps they would have also slapped him with the offense of rash driving under Section 281 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, which would have carried a maximum jail term of 6 months and a fine of 1000 rupees, or both, had they been fully trained in the new laws. But whether under the Motor Vehicles Act or the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, the question that arises is, do we really want Spider-Man in prison? To put someone who catches thieves just like flies himself behind bars seems ironic. After all, Spider-Man is meant to fight crime, not cause of it. The Delhi Spider-Man too, while he is not fighting crime, is certainly not committing a crime by dressing up like a superhero and roaming the streets. We live in a free country where everyone has the right to wear whatever they choose to, even if it is an outlandish masked outfit or, like Mahatma Gandhi, not very much at all. When riding on the bonnet of a car, however, Spider-Man outfitted Aditya is both a danger to himself as well as to drivers of other cars around. It is reasonable to deter him from repeating this act, but is making the act a crime and putting Aditya in prison for a few months going to work? Philosophically, a crime is a wrong action that affects the whole community. In that sense, Aditya's friend driving a car in an unlawful manner and him being sprawled on its bonnet can properly be called crimes. But all crimes do not require imprisonment. To understand whether imprisonment is the most optimal way to deter Aditya, one first needs to understand whether he was merely performing a one-off stunt to impress a Mary Jane, or more like his adversaries, Green Goblin or Mysterio, had some evil intent. Without getting to the bottom of this, simply slapping a few sections and threatening Aditya with jail term will not work to prevent him from coming back on streets. More creative deterrent needs to be thought up. The three new criminal laws that came into force on July 1st, 2024 have taken a step in this direction by introducing community service as one of the alternatives to imprisonment and monetary fines. This is a positive step, but more needs to be done. Community service is only available for six offences, ranging from a public servant unlawfully engaging in trade to drunken misconduct. Other minor offences, such as those relating to unlawful driving, do not give the option to the judge of ordering community service. Even when community service can be ordered, these could include actions ranging from making the offender collect garbage in his locality for a month to acting as an assistant to a traffic policeman. The Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita provides no guidance in this respect. Imagine if the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita gave judges the option to send Aditya to a 1 month regimen of cleaning a local juvenile justice home while only being allowed to watch superhero videos in his breaks. There would be a better chance of Aditya finding his purpose in life instead of making Spiderman himself a public nuisance as he has done now. It is obvious that the police neither have the capacity nor the training to charge offenders based on which method of punishment would work best to deter and reform them. This was the promise of the new criminal laws that they would decolonize Indian criminal law and bring it into the modern age. The impulse was a right one, and some of the steps, like the introduction of community service and investigating in forensic and digital methods of evidence gathering, are laudable. There were 11 offences under the old Indian Penal Code under which the death penalty could be awarded. Under the new Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, it is 15. The Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita allows a sentence up to life imprisonment for procuring any gun without a license, procuring, not using, and counterfeiting a mark for authentication purpose, or fraudulently defacing a will. These are harsh and disproportionate. At the same time, there is very little attention paid to the retraining of police personnel, prosecutors, and judges on these new laws. Any retraining will require significant funds, but the financial memorandum accompanying the legislation curiously says that enforcing it is not likely to incur any expenditure. Without investing in enforcement, that is, training of policemen, hiring of forensic experts, empanelment of criminal psychologists, and establishing digital infrastructure, criminal laws can be rewritten but neither reimagined nor decolonized. A modern post colonial 21st century democracy cannot enforce its will by putting petty offenders in prison. The government of India has grasped this when it comes to business. It has proceeded through the Jan Vishwas Acts to decriminalize a number of offences and remove jail terms to facilitate the ease of doing business in India. However, at the union level alone, over 6,000 offences that deal with everyday actions in the country still remain on the books. These ranging from failing to file one's tax returns on time to riding on the bonnet of a car. It is time to decriminalize and reimagine these offences not only to ease business but also to ease living for ordinary citizens and reduce police discretion. The government has the power to do so. It would do well to remember Uncle Ben's words to Spiderman: with great power comes great responsibility. Thank you for listening. The Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita provides no guidance in this respect. Imagine if the BNS gave judges the option to send Aditya to a 1 month regimen of cleaning a local juvenile justice home while only being allowed to watch superheroes videos in his breaks. Regimen, REGAMEN. Regimen means a set of rules for improving something, especially health. Thank you very much.